Good morning, evening, or afternoon to all of you beautiful people. Josh here, back to bring you some sweet voice-based content. So, voice acting. It can be great, but it can also be a bit shit. Now this isn't news to anyone, I've actually made a whole video on bad voice acting with my good friend Nova, check it out here. And one of the most famous examples of bad voice acting comes from a series that is very close, near and dear to my heart, Resident Evil. A series that pioneered survival horror and also some pretty crap voice acting. Now that's not to dogpile on the game, it is a classic and the re-release in 2002 is fucking amazing, it's one of my favourite games of all time. But I think we can all agree that the original voice lines were questionable at best. Now, it's the remake that I actually wanted to talk about in this video, because while the game was remade to an overwhelmingly positive reception, not many people talk about if the voice acting was improved from one game to the other. So in today's video, I'm going to be using this video here from Outside Xbox to compare and contrast some of the voice acting from each game, talk about why it's better or worse, and generally just have a little bit of a laugh at some of the cheesy, cringy lines that came from that fucking video game. Quick disclaimer, I mean no disrespect to any of the voice actors from the original or the remake. This is purely just a compare and contrast video because I feel like any voice acting should be open to criticism, and I would hope that the voice actors from the original game and the remake can... I'd like to think they're a little self-aware that some of the voice acting lines were not great. So without any further ado, let's enter the survival horror.
What is this? Wow, what a mansion!
What is this place?
Not quite your ordinary house, that's for sure.
Fucking hell. Ugh. Okay, so... with this one, it's a little bit harder to say which is better because they both have their problems. In the original 1996 version, the delivery of the line, "Wow, what a mansion," again, it just doesn't have that reverence. But then in that same vein, the delivery of the "what is this place" in both clips isn't great. Like, they're panting, they're tired, they've just ran from zombie dogs, and his reaction is to go, "What is this place?" Like, come on, dude, fucking hell. However, I do much prefer Wesker's delivery. Not only does it fit Wesker's character as he kind of knows a bit more about what's going on, I think that cold, stoic approach that Wesker gives to his lines, it benefits the presentation of his character as well, which I think is the way to go.
Stop it! Don't open that door!
Jill, no! You don't want to go back out there.
Okay, right. The fucking delivery in the original... No person talks like that. No one in the world talks like that. My god. Stop it. Don't open that door. Do you know what my first response would be if somebody said that to me? Who the fuck are you? Why has my fucking colleague been replaced with a robot? It's like he has very vague, like, understandings of how human speech patterns work. My assumption is, and I think this is going to be a theme for most of the voice acting in the 1996 original, is that the localization probably wasn't their first priority. Most games made in Japan and then ported over to the West didn't have the best voice acting, and that's purely because they were just trying to get it out there as best as they can. I mean, look at the voice acting for arcade games like House of the Dead. Trust me, it's shit. I think a combination of like the language barrier plus the addition of just trying to get it out to the West to increase the sales probably resulted in that. And again, the 2002 version isn't much better. Like, Jill's just about to run back out where you've just ran from a pack of zombie dogs, and your reaction is to go, "Jill, no." I really like the delivery when he says, you don't want to go back out there. It's almost like pre-hinting that Wesker knows a bit more than what he's letting on. But at the same time, it's kind of like well hidden behind the idea of like, you don't want to go back out there because there's a pack of fucking zombie dogs out there. Like, come on.
Barry! Where's Barry?
Well, I'm sorry, but he's probably...
Barry. Where's Barry?
He's...
No.
See, I can't tell whether that's just bad voice acting or bad audio editing in that first clip. Probably both. It almost sounds like they cut that Barry and just like stuck it at the front of there, so it's like the original line was, "Where's Barry?" and they just took the Barry and put it at the front. But if that's genuinely the way that the actor delivered the line, again, it's just piss poor acting. It's just really not great. But again, I think that's probably to do with a lack of direction. I don't want to solely rag on the voice actors here because a good director can turn a great performance, brilliant, and a bad performance, good. But at the same time, you do have to sound like, you know, an actual fucking human from time to time, so, you know. Again, compared to the remake, it's not much better. It almost feels as if the voice actors were recording their lines, like, on separate days without the context of what they're talking about within the script. Like, the way Jill delivers her no line, it just sounds weird. Like, maybe show a bit of concern for your potentially missing or dead friend. Like, please? Although again, I will say something positive. Chris's delivery in the remake of the Barry Where's Barry line, much better. There's actually a bit more reverence, a bit more concern and confusion as to where Barry is at the time.
He seems to have been bitten by a poisonous snake, but the size of the wound is abnormally large.
It's not just a poisonous snake. It's a monster.
He seems to have been bitten by a poisonous snake, but the size of the bite mark is huge.
It's not just any ordinary snake. Take my word for it.
I feel like I'm just repeating myself with this, but genuinely, it is very common for these lines to just sound a bit robotic. Like, Rebecca Chambers, she doesn't sound concerned. She just sounds... How do I put this? It's like you told a teenager to act concerned, and they're doing it in the most sarcastic way possible. He was attacked by a snake. Oh my god. Like, there's no reverence behind it. There's nothing to support the grim reality of the situation you're in. And again, the remake is better, but not much better. Although I will say, I forget his name, the guy on the ground who was bitten by the snake, much better performance there. Like, you can feel the pain, the agony, and the fear all in that one line. Like, fair play. That was a solid line.
Jill, see if you can find any other clues. I'll be examining this. Hope this is not Chris's blood.
Jill, see if you can find any other clues. I'll be examining this. Let's just hope it's not Chris's.
So, the delivery in the first scene, shock horror, it's not great. Again, it's overacting. I think that's one of the biggest problems with the original 1996 version of Resident Evil. All of the lines are really overacted. Like, in this situation, you're not going to be as animated, you're not going to be as flamboyant with your lines and the way you deliver lines from scene to scene. Like, you're in a situation that's literally life or death. So you can hear that sort of somber fear and realization in Barry's voice in the remake when he says, "Let's hope it's not Chris's." But also, the way the line is constructed is a bit weird. See if you can find any more clues. I'll be examining this. I don't know if that's just me, but that just sounds really strange. It's overthinking the lines. Like, I don't know, maybe I'm overthinking things and I don't understand how people actually talk, but I don't know, to me it sounds weird. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments.
Wesker? Jill? What happened to Jill and Wesker?
Wesker? Jill? Where did they go?
Okay, so again, I think this line comes more down to just improvements in the localization, but the 2002 is better. Again, the performance isn't great. What happened to Jill and Wesker? It's I don't know how to describe it. It just sounds really robotic and weird. Whereas in the remake, you can hear that difference in tone as well as volume. When Chris comes in, he's immediately like, "Where's Jill? Where's Wesker?" And then he sort of realizes he's on his own and he's talking to himself, so he brings the tone down. It's like, where'd they go? Yeah, it's an improvement. It's definitely an improvement.
That was too close. You were almost a Jill sandwich.
You're right. Barry, thanks for saving my life.
That was a close one. A second late, you would have fit nicely into a sandwich.
Really? Thanks.
Okay, this scene is going to stir up a little bit of controversy, I think, because it is a very, very famous scene within the Resident Evil community, and it's something that gets memed on quite a lot, but I really don't like this line in either version. Again, it's a life or death situation, and you're making jokes about somebody fitting into a sandwich. That just, I don't know, it just feels off to me. Out of the two, if I had to pick, I do think that the Resident Evil remake is slightly better, although Jill's delivery is really wooden. You nearly died! Come on! But yeah, I'm probably gonna get some heat for that, but I don't know, I can't get on with the Jill sandwich line. As an isolated meme, it's fun, but within the context of Resident Evil, yeah, no, I just can't get behind it.
But how about you, Barry?
I have this.
Thank you. I'll take this then.
What about you?
Oh, don't worry. I like the buddy system we have here.
I see.
Okay, that right there is a great example of taking something and making it better. Again, it's still not perfect, it's still not great, there's still a lot that I would change, but it's such an improvement on the 1996 version. It's so, like, pre-teen pantomime in the 1996 version. Every single line is so overacted and overdone that it really takes away from the situation that they're in. It's that, it's so frustrating because Resident Evil was such a good game and such a pioneer of its time, but when you hear voice acting like this, it really takes me out of it. I have this! But you're in a survival horror game where you're potentially gonna die, you're not in an anime. That line from Jill...
Thank you. I'll take this then.
That's just... that's just bad. I have no other words for it. I'm sorry I can't articulate any better, but it's just bad. I really like the dynamic in the 2002 version of this scene, because it shows that Barry is trying to be a hero a little bit. Which, now that I think about it, I guess kind of fits in with the whole Jill sandwich thing before, and Jill's reaction to that, so I kind of get it a bit more in the remake. See, I'm learning things as I record this video. Magical. But the way that Barry's holding his magnum and saying like, oh, I like the buddy system I've got here. Like, he's trying to portray himself as strong and confident and trying to, like, instill that confidence in Jill. And Jill's response is just to go, yeah, sure, buddy. Jill knows the situation they're in. She understands the life or death situation they're in. And Barry trying to play hero just isn't working with her. Yeah, you know what? I think that's really well done. I actually quite like that.
Oh, Jill, this house is dangerous. There are terrible demons. Ouch!
You're wounded. What kind of demon attacked you?
It was a huge snake, and also poisonous.
This whole place is a killing zone. There are monsters.
What did this to you?
A big snake. And it had to be poisonous.
Poisonous? Richard, hold on.
Okay, once again, I feel like I could just say the 1996 version of the voice acting was shit and knock off, but I won't. I will try and articulate a little better. So, a lot to say on this one. So when he's talking about the snake, it's like as a character, he's reading off a sheet. It's like, there's a snake, and it was poisonous. Ouch! Like, it's like you're reading off a takeaway menu. Again, Jill's acting in this scene. I don't like ragging on voice actors like this, but again, it's just that sense of overacting again. It's like, you're wounded! Like, just calm down and be a normal person. So in the 2002 version, this is much, much, much better. Fucking miles better. But once again, Jill's voice acting is still a little wooden, but the portrayal of... I always forget his name, the guy who got bit. On screen now. But the portrayal in his voice, that shuddery breath, that pain, you can feel that straight off the bat. It's like that panting, you just feel everything that he's feeling, and I think that's really well done. Again, the only major criticism I have from that, again, is it's Jill's voice acting. Like, a performance doesn't have to be over the top, it has to be believable. That's the biggest thing. The way that she is portrayed does not match the gravity of the situation. And I feel like I found 7 different ways of saying that. But, hey. And there we go! So, yeah. There were definitely some improvements in the 2002 remake, and I definitely say the voice acting is better in that game. But generally, voice acting in the 2000s wasn't exactly stellar. At least in the early 2000s. But now we've been blessed with some incredible voice acting, even within the Resident Evil series itself. Thank you, Nick Apostolides. I really hope I pronounced your name right. I love you. But with that in mind, I'm going to throw the question out to you guys. What are some of your favourite voice acting clips that are bad, good, or just plain confusing? Let me know in the comments and let's share some of the magical wonders of voice acting. If you did enjoy this video, then leave a like and subscribe to my channel for more beautiful voice-based content. Keep your eyes out for my next video. I upload every 2 weeks, but until then, thank you ever so much for watching. I hope you thoroughly enjoyed this video. I hope you had a laugh. I hope you questioned the abilities of some voice directors in the 1990s. But above all else, I hope you incredible, beautiful, magical souls stay wonderful.